all.
Somebody dove in early. Brittan? Is that the name?
Yes, hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I was wondering, have you heard about the best news article ever against Christianity and atheism? Came out last week. Seems the Church of England owes Charles Darwin an apology is the title.
Yeah, I think we may have mentioned that on last week's show, but I can't remember for sure.
It's Reverend Malcolm Brown saying that he calls for a reapproach between Christianity and Darwinism. How about that?
Too little, too late.
Really?
I don't see what the big deal is. I mean, I guess it's nice.
Yeah.
But you've already got, it's not like it's going to be necessarily changing a whole lot of people's minds. Hopefully this type of thing may get some of the more sheep-like members of churches to say, oh, okay, now the church says this is okay, so now I don't have to consider it evil. But, I don't know that the Church of England is necessarily a major detractor from evolutionary theory.
Well, I would bring up the Bible verse that Jesus did say, a house divided amongst itself cannot stand, meaning if you got Christians believing in what the Church of England believes, that, we should believe in Darwinism, and other Christians who don't believe it, well, Jesus said you cannot argue amongst each other, or else your entire foundation church cannot stand.
Okay.
Meaning, Christianity is just completely wrong. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess the fact that the church has stood with a divided house for the last 150 years kind of disproves what Jesus was saying. But, I think they'd probably argue that they hadn't been standing particularly well, and this move might affect how well they stay together. I like the fact that, we're seeing, some of the wrongs righted. I mean, the Catholic Church took 300 and some odd years to apologize for what they did to Galileo, and now the Catholic Church is trying to get a donor to build a statue. The Church of England's coming out, and they're going to say they've apologized to Darwin and admitted actually fault in being wrong instead of shifting the blame. I guess it's nice, but I'm not going to, give them a big round of applause because, first of all, it's like saying, well, we don't keep slaves anymore, despite the fact that our religious book says that we should and tells us exactly how to do it.
Well, 2 years ago, the Church of England did apologize for their role in the transatlantic slave trade, so they kind of went back on their own Bible.
Right.
They've done it 3 times now.
Yeah, and while I'll give them, partial credit for eventually saying, yep, we were wrong about that. I mean, at least it shows something. The fact is that it's, like I said, it's too little too late. You shouldn't, if your religious beliefs are such that you have to be dragged kicking and screaming to reality, and then only after centuries of being forced to live among rational people who accept scientific evidence and who have moral standards that don't include slavery and things like that. If it takes that long, you're kind of late to the party. We're glad you caught up. Now maybe you can catch up to us on the rest of this stuff.
Exactly. And one more thing I want to point out. Basically, they're going back on everything God, Jesus said, because the Bible was just written by mortal men. Have you ever heard of the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Code of Hammurabi?
The Code of Hammurabi?
Oh yeah, both. And actually, Tracie talked a little bit about Gilgamesh.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I spoke about it, but yeah, I know.
It predates Moses by 700 years. I mean, obviously, Moses plagiarized from the Babylonians. And Christians believe, no, it's not that. Moses got it from a burning, talking bush, which is illogical.
Yeah, and Tracie did a series of shows on how aspects of Judaism were lifted from Canaanite myth.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and let her get on to the topic. I appreciate the call, Brittan. Thanks for calling in.
Well, thank you so much. Love the show.
Sure.
Thanks.